Hello and welcome back to Mac at the Movies. Today I have a special guest for you. This is my best buddy Chase here, and he's going to tell you three magical facts about him that I don't even know.
So, Hello Macamites. My name is Chase. I'm here joining Jason today for a wonderful little movie review. Three interesting facts. My favorite Halloween costume was Macklemore's rendition of the Strangers guy antithesis circa 2015. I am entirely too large to own a Prius, and I do. And let's see, I enjoy Jurassic Park more than most grown adults.
I don't think any grown adults hate Jurassic Park, and if they do, they're monsters.
Agreed.
All of you. Anywho, today we're going to review for you on Mother's Day, to all you wonderful moms out there, we love you, the film Carrie from 2013. This was released by MGM Pictures and directed by Kimberly Pierce, who also directed the wonderful film, yet very sad, Boys Don't Cry. And another film which I've heard of but haven't watched yet, entitled Stop Loss. Those were, including Carrie, were the three films that I guess she's most well known for, and did a good job in all respects.
Boom. As far as cast goes, Julianne Moore plays the mother, Margaret White. It's got Chloe Grace Moretz as Carrie White. We've got Gabriella Wilde as Sue Snell, Ansel Elgort as Tommy Ross, and Judy Greer as Mrs. Dresden?
I think the S is silent.
Desjardins. I can't read. That's fact number 4. Chase doesn't know how to read.
My handwriting's terrible, so it's not all on him. Essentially, I found this to be a wonderful film. I know people hate remakes. They think that they're the devil incarnate. They're not. They're a new look on an old tale. Do I think a remake needs to be made 5 years after the original? No.
No.
It's been done. Stop it.
At least 2 decades spread, minimum.
Yeah. Give it some time. Give it some time. Essentially, this film is about a high school girl, Carrie, who is a little different. Doesn't have many friends. Doesn't have any friends, I don't think.
I would say introvert would be the understatement of the century.
Yes. So she stumbles upon an area in life of growth while taking a shower, and bad things happen. Don't really want to spoil a whole lot, just in case you haven't seen this film. So things happen, and it becomes very uncomfortable for Carrie, and all her peers, if you can call them that, make fun of her. And then the film kind of goes on from there and creates a life on its own. So all in all, like, what was something that you kind of saw in the film that you kind of pulled out that you recognized, you hated or loved? Or
I know maybe they weren't going for this, and maybe it's pretty common in any movie where people seem to be floating, but I saw a lot of ties to the craft. Every time somebody was floating, it was the feet pointed straight down. I don't know how your feet would be, because I've never floated before, but it just seems like there's always a tie into the craft.
Yeah, I agree with that. The one thing I don't think I cared a whole lot for in the film was, and as I think it's a well common fact, it's in the trailer, you have a character who has telekinesis.
Telekinetic powers.
There we go. I feel like, I know nothing about telekinesis other than what I've seen in this and that one Friday the 13th movie where the wonderful lady killed Jason with her mind powers. That one, and a few other films, but it usually seems like it's best used in cinema while stress-induced. And it seems like it becomes just an everyday tool, like the ability to walk or something like that, instead of using a foot to move a the pedal for the sewing machine. She's doing it with her mind. Things like that. It just seems a bit, I don't know, like a waste of telekinesis and storyline. I do like when the sources of stress come up and she forces like projected power onto other people. But when it just seems like she's using powers like in Dragon Ball Z or something like that, or like force powers.
It's not Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They needed wands in Harry Potter. But
magic is magic.
Yeah, magic's magic. Yeah, it just, I don't know, it seemed a bit much there. I'm not a big fan of that. The other thing I noticed, and she did a great job, in my opinion. I don't know if Chloe Grace Moretz was the best Carrie for this role. I was sitting there watching the film, and it just seemed like a lot of her like insecure acting seemed more forced and coached than natural. Whenever she looked insecure, it looked like she was trying to portray like a beaten dog, in my opinion. Not to say that in like a...
We don't beat dogs.
No, but it didn't look naturally insecure. So I didn't find it believable. It seemed like everything was more of an inconvenience rather than like sort of like anxiety driven or something to that effect. The actor I thought that would have best portrayed Carrie in this film was Anya Taylor-Joy. She was in The Witch, as well as Split and a bunch of other. Queen's Gambit, I think, is the new one she was in. I think she would have been great. She was around the same age at the same time this film was released, and maybe she just wasn't well known at the time or known at all at the time. But I think she would have been very, very good for this part. What are your thoughts? I mean, I know you said that you had some.
Yeah, I don't disagree that she wouldn't do an amazing job, but I think the actress to portray this would have been Kristen Stewart. She basically could have just played the role of Bella and pulled off Carrie just fine. Having said that, I'm not sure that the budget allowed to hire her because Twilight was in full frame, at this point. It had been a major franchise for a few years, so... Yeah, I think Kristen Stewart was my vote to play Carrie.
Yeah, I mean, and Kristen Stewart just has that natural I'm awkward vibe about her, so that's, I think the neighbor's whistling at their dog. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, granted, Chloe did a great job. I feel that she was given a job and she did said job. I think she did very well. I just had different matter of opinion. Another thing I noticed, and again, I think it's widely known, and just to be safe, I'll probably announce spoilers for this video. Not mention spoilers, but just say that there could be spoilers in the title.
Well, the movie's old, frankly.
Movie's old, but at the same time, I feel like even if a movie is very old, if you haven't seen it, it's new to you. So, but just in case, there's, at the beginning of the film, when Carrie is taking a shower, the infamous the shower scene, you see the moment when she realizes there's the blood on her hands, and you see the angle in which she looks at the blood on her hands. And later in the film, if you've seen this, you know what I'm talking about. She has blood on her hands again. I think it resonates to her mentally and takes her immediately back to the beginning of the film. And it's like a dead reminder of what happened. And now everyone's laughing.
It was literally the genesis of the stress.
Yeah, so... I really do think that, things like that in this film, I do like, where it kind of like, it was like an instant reminder without having to look at that and then do like an instant flashback to the beginning of the film, which in a sense more or less happened. If you haven't seen it and do watch it, you'll see what we're talking about. But, all in all, it was a good kind of way to, it's like you could almost feel and see what like Carrie was, going through in that moment. And then I was mentioning to Chase here earlier that in the film, I remember the director, Kimberly Pierce, had mentioned that there's a moment where Carrie floats and like takes off. She is very like serpent-like, and she wanted to do that to give like sort of like an evil feel to Carrie, like something to fear, like people would fear like a snake or something like that. And that is something else I do think that Anya Taylor-Joy would have done very well at, because I think in other roles I've seen her in, I think it would have been more believable in her face. I think she would have been able to portray a little better. I don't know, like some of Chloe's facial expressions didn't, in my opinion, match what action she was trying to portray, with the exception of like action scenes. So like anything very action oriented, it seemed like it fit well. But I don't know, is there anything like what you noticed about that?
Not specifically about that. I did mention and notice, and this occurred to me while we were watching this movie today. Every high school movie from the late 90s through circa mid-2010s always has at least one person driving a Volvo and one person driving a muscle car.
So very economical and very destructive.
Yeah. They have to balance the green credits on screen, I guess. Anyway, I don't know why I noticed that, but it occurred to me that they followed right in line, with the rules on that, the status quo at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there are rules, but at the same time, it is very noticeable in a lot of these films.
I think the rule is destroy the expensive muscle car, don't destroy the Volvo.
Yeah, because the muscle car is just destroying the world. Thinking back to that as muscle cars in movies and Dazed and Confused, I really like that Roadrunner at the beginning. I think it was a Roadrunner. I'm terrible with cars, but I think that's what it was. An orange Roadrunner, maybe?
Don't recall.
Sorry, beautiful everyone. Orange car. But anywho, in my opinion, I give this film a solid 4 for what it is. I'm not going to compare it to the original Carrie. I'm not going to compare it to the Carrie that came out later in the 90s, I think it was, the straight-to-TV version that also spawned the sequel, Carrie, or no, Rage.
Rage, yeah.
The Rage, or I can't remember.
The Fury.
Yeah, Rage, Carrie 2, something like that. Yeah, I'm not going to compare it to any of that. Just a standalone film. I think it was. I think it was very well done. I don't, see anything I can really knock it for, except for my nitpicky comments. But that's what I'm here for.
I would agree with 4 stars, and I know there's a rule here we can't split, but I'm going to split and go 3-5 specifically because at the very end of the movie there is really bad CGI at the very end, right before the credits. And they could have left it as is. I'm not going to spoil anything because we're not doing spoilers, but literally 3 seconds before the credits, they could have left it alone. So I knocked off half a star because they just couldn't let it ride.
Couldn't leave well enough alone.
There was some graffiti. They could have left it.
Just leave it be. I think other movies ended it a little differently. I think they all had their own take at the very end. Again, I don't want to compare.
Yeah,
because
I'm not comparing, no.
Because I know one of them was really different compared to the other two. Anywho, I hope you all enjoyed the review. If you've seen this film, hopefully you thought the same as we did, or differently. Because if we didn't have a difference of opinions, we wouldn't be able to grow and talk about these things.
Comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Boom.
Do the thing. I want to see the thing.
As always, happy Mother's Day. Be good to one another. This film is all about being good to one another, or you're going to have somebody with mental powers coming after you.
Mm-hmm. In the words of Jimi Hendrix, to all the mothers out there and people that want to be mothers, see us backstage.
Boom. And see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.